Hello and welcome to Music with Mason. My name is Mason Fall. I'm here joined with the post-rock band from Oklahoma. We've got Greyland. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good. Thanks for asking.
Doing good, man.
Right. So Greyland will soon be playing at Drop Fest in March, and they also recently released their EP, Nothing Has Stood Out So Far, which is personally really good. So just to get started, you guys, how did each of you get into music, and how did you know this is what you wanted to do?
So I'm Derek. So I got into music around when I was in middle school. Just my older brother was really into music, and so that just kind of led me getting into instruments and stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of just how I found music through my older brother when I was younger.
Yeah, this is Timmy. I play guitar, but same story as Derek. I had a cousin that was like really big in my life. We were like best friends growing up, and we would just she showed interest in guitar, and I grew up like in a musical family, but everyone in my family was playing like bluegrass at the time, and so when my cousin started playing, she showed me like different forms of music, and it like sparked my interest.
Yeah.
I'm Cameron. I'm the drummer, and my dad exposed me to a lot of music when I was younger, and eventually in middle school I joined the school band and percussion, and just kind of learned a lot from that, and then picked up drum set in like freshman year, 8th grade, something like that, and then I just started learning songs from the bands that I like and getting to where I am today.
Yeah.
I'm Iggy. I'm the bassist. I kind of got music the way everyone does, just both my parents showing me their different styles growing up, and then I started really getting into performing in middle school whenever I was in choir and theater, and then after I got out of high school, I still wanted to do some performance stuff, and thought started learning music and joined Greyland.
Yeah, really cool, guys. Yeah. So for each of you, do you have any like personal favorite bands? Like they don't have to be like straight on post grunge or rock and roll or whatever you guys are into, like in the genre itself. Are there any interesting bands that like you didn't think you would like but you still love rock and roll even though you listen to these guys as well?
So I grew up super into metal. I like a lot, pretty much any type, and then I started kind of diverse out. One of my favorite artists of all time is Radiohead. I think my favorite Hurtful artist is probably Jasmine Bean.
For me, I think let's see. Oh, I just had one. My favorite band, like I think that has an influence on my sound is Dive, but like I don't know. I also really got into music listening to jazz, so like Miles Davis and Duke Ellington, people like that. I really like.
I've always been really into like two of my favorite bands are like Metallica, Green Day, which is my childhood band, Blink-182, like Slipknot, Megadeth, and I'll even listen to like stuff with like really different, like Taylor Swift with my girlfriend in the car because I just overall enjoy music, and and I'll just go back to listening to like Slipknot right after, just basically about anything in that realm.
Yeah, I like a little bit of everything, like kind of these guys too. I like a lot of rap, like Earl Sweatshirt and stuff like that. Tyler the Creator. I also love pop, like SZA and stuff. That also indie rock bands like Car Seat Headrest have influenced me a lot. So just a little bit of everything.
Yeah, right on. And I want to go back to you, Derek. When you guys were still a three-piece, did you guys start off by covering songs from Joyner Manor and Radiohead?
Yeah, that's actually really funny. We used to cover the song Just by Radiohead, the song Constant Headache by Joyce Manor. So we start off just learning some covers and stuff at early shows when we didn't have enough material to fully play original sets when we started.
Yeah, for sure. And what could you guys tell us about the Odyssey? Like that venue?
Oh, the video. So in Tulsa, there's a band called the Odyssey. We've done a few shows with them. Really cool group of guys. They put out their debut LP Saturn last year. But yeah, overall really solid if you're like into alt rock, or they kind of have like a classic rock style, but with maybe like a little bit of an indie twist to it. Yeah, they're definitely a cool group from the area.
Yeah, and now that we're talking about different bands, for the band The Others Like Us, did you challenge them to a Capri Sun drink-off?
So last February, we started teasing doing like internet beef to promote an upcoming show that we had with them. And they always like drink Capri Suns on stage, and with their merch booth, they always give people Capri Suns. So yeah, I challenged him to a Capri Sun off. We won though.
I think that ended up being like one of our biggest shows that we played to date, and I think it's all tucked up to the Capri Sun drink off. I agree.
Yeah. So, I saw this on your Facebook account. What could you tell us about the Castleberry's birthday bash? What was that all about?
So I think the Castleberry birthday bash is actually what turned in, is what is now Drop Fest. Like, there's a local promoter, shout out Anthony Castleberry. He also ran Foolish Things. I don't know if you've seen any of that stuff, but he's at Vanguard now. But he kind of gave us our start, and then after like a year, he invited us to. He throws an annual birthday show, and invites like his favorite locals. So that's what that was last year, and then this year is just like a way bigger version of that.
Yeah. So when we, so I did some research on a few of you guys, and I want to know if these facts are true or not, and I want to get a little more detail on some of these topics. So if these are a little too creepy for you, you don't have to answer them. So just bear with me.
No, this sounds awesome. This is like Star Wars style.
So
I like this.
Hell yeah, man. So for Derek, we're starting off with you. What could you tell us about in-flight emergency?
So in-flight emergency was a project I had a little bit before this. It was when I really tried to start really film bands, stuff like that, instead of joining bands that were already established. It was more of like a same thing, similar to Aussie, kind of like classic rock, like hints of funk and stuff like that to it. But that's actually really funny, yeah. So that was the thing for a few years, and actually towards the end of it, after a few lineup changes, Cameron, our current drummer, joined, and then that's how I met him before we started Greyland.
Right on. And we're going right back to you, Derek. Did you interview bands?
No.
I did, actually.
What could you tell us about those bands you happen to interview on your YouTube channel? Oh man.
So a little while ago, a few years ago at this point, I had a final school project where I could choose to make a film, or I could choose to record an EP and post it and stuff like that. And I decided that I wanted to kind of give a shout out to some of the bands in the Tulsa area. So I interviewed, I think, Sunfoe, Wolf Ugly, Chameleon, and one other. And so I'm trying to remember. There's a few bands I interviewed that didn't make the cut. And I even got to talk with some of the guys that were working at Vanguard at that current point.
Right on.
And I put together a little documentary just kind of shouting out some of the people that in the local scene that I respect or just like really liked, which is something that I've been thinking about trying to do again and just consistently doing it.
Yeah. Do you plan on expanding out and interviewing bands from Iowa? Do you plan on interviewing again?
So I want to try to do it again. Obviously, it would probably be a little bit different now that I have a little better of an understanding how to. But now that we're starting to enter more time where we're touring and going to different cities and states, I think it'd be cool to interview some of the bands from those areas whenever we have extra time.
And how does it feel getting interviewed now?
Very cool.
I would say it's really cool. Yeah,
It feels good being on the other end of the microphone, doesn't it?
yeah, it's really cool. We were talking about it earlier. Cool, exciting, a little bit nervous, new experience.
Oh yeah,
But we're pretty excited.
I'm nervous all the time. Don't worry about it. But
Yeah, we're nervous that we were too awkward.
no, dude, don't worry. I've had worse, and I'm not gonna list who. But...
Yeah, there we go.
So
Winning.
we're moving on to Timmy. Did you
great.
have you used to play rugby?
That's funny. I mean, close. I played lacrosse.
Lacrosse. Right on. Okay.
That's funny.
Star athlete.
So,
I won't ask.
and you won the Cowboy Cup?
The Cowboy Cup.
In one of the pictures on your Instagram, someone was flashing something called the Cowboy Cup when you guys were standing next to each other in your blue lacrosse outfits.
That's so long ago that I don't remember. It was in Texas, so it probably was called the Cowboy Cup. That's insane. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I played lacrosse until I couldn't. I broke too many bones.
And then you moved on
I broke one bone.
you moved on to guitar.
Yeah.
Now you can break more bones in the mosh pit.
Right.
So for Cameron,
We're breaking this up.
what could you tell us about Flashpoint 918?
Oh yeah, that's my punk band night. That's like it's like a pretty much brand new band. We played like 2 shows so far, and it's just me, my buddy Nick, and my buddy Noah, who currently plays in the Others Like Us and his own band Morris Village. And it's a lot of stuff that's influenced by like Bad Brains, like Operation Ivy, and like those older punk bands, like really really dirty, really fast stuff. And it's a lot of fun. And I just recently joined up after they recorded their EP, and we actually have a show next Thursday. So it's a fun little change of pace for me because it's completely different from what I play in Greyland.
And now that we're talking about some of your previous bands, were you in fact a part of the Bartlesville Drumline?
I was. It was awesome.
So you just moved on
Yeah.
from being in a marching band, or just a drum line, and then moving on to the good stuff, which is called rock and roll?
Well, I mean, toward the end of high school, I was actually trying my hardest to balance both, and it was a really awkward period for Greyland because I couldn't make it to stuff like practices and like shows, and it was a rough time for that, but like at the same time, a really good time for marching band. So yeah, I tried to balance both, and I've like been kind of able to balance playing drum set and my bass drum and drum line. And yeah, it's a fun little time, and I miss it sometimes, but I'm really happy that I've been able to move on to what I'm doing now.
The Bartlesville drumline caused like the most turmoil in Greyland.
Yeah. That was a close breaking point.
Yeah, man. But if it's possible, do you think you can get the old guys from the drumline to play at one of your shows next? Just a whole ass drumline on stage? That'd be awesome.
That'd be cool.
You know, that reminds me and a few guys from the drumline actually played at a church, and each got paid to play Little Drummer Boy. And I just had to like arrange something for the drum line, and we each got paid like $100, so that was really fun. So in terms of like bringing that to a local show, I don't know, but that'd be freaking sweet, honestly.
I like that idea.
That'd be cool. Get a bunch of snares on there and do like a super like
And completely mess up the sound, yeah.
Everyone's out of time.
Yep.
What is Foolish Things Coffee?
Foolish Things I was brought up a little bit earlier. Anthony Castleberry, who runs booking at Vanguard, which shout out. But he was like running a venue out of I don't know, I think he was asked by this coffee company to like run the space. And yeah, he just like he gave a lot of smaller bands like us like a little start in Tulsa.
So, I don't know if you guys know the name or not, but does the name Finn mean anything to you?
Wait, did he say Finn by chance?
Finn.
What's the,
That means
what you got? What information you got?
Well, all I know is that your friend Finn has always recorded you at shows like the Noah's House, and then you've got places like the Chimera Cafe, and you've also got the Foolish Things Coffee House, which we were just talking about, and Finn has recorded you guys playing every time. Does that name mean anything?
a fun thing I want to say about Finn. So earlier when we were talking about breaking bones, Finn was the only person. There was a show we were playing where he was moshing and he actually fell and like dislocated his knee or something like that pretty bad.
Yep. And he popped it right back into place and got back into the pit.
Really?
So yeah, he used to go around and he recorded. He doesn't do it much anymore, but he went around for a while recording band sets. But yeah, this guy.
So when we talk about a few of the earlier shows, I'm not familiar with what your first show was, but I know one of your earliest shows was with Wilted at the Josie Records.
Sorry.
No, please continue.
So that was our first show we booked. We would just want to do like a small thing to kind of get our start, kind of see where we felt with live performance. We were still doing 3-piece shows, and then Wilted was another like indie alternative band in the area. But actually through that, we found our current bass player and vocalist, Iggy, because that was his actual main solo project. And so after we did a couple shows, we indoctrinated him.
Wow.
Yeah, I was playing in my own project, and they had opened for me, or vice versa. I had opened for them at one show, and then a few months later that year in September, they asked me to like be a guest vocalist for one of the songs at one of their shows. And then after that show, they brought me outside and asked me to join their band. Completely unexpected.
Yeah, man, for sure. So one of your other shows that I was really interested by, you guys got to play along bands with Perfume, Silk, and this was at the Sanctuary in Oklahoma. So what could you tell us about the Sanctuary?
So the Sanctuary is a really cool spot in OKC. So they opened, I want to say, 2 years ago now. They're really DIY driven. They help out a lot of touring bands, especially because they go above and beyond to take care of their touring acts. Really great place. They actually were fortunate enough to be able to move to a new location that's bigger and has air conditioning just a few months ago. And then they added in the stage and stuff. But it's a cool spot. It's connected to a store in OKC called Beloved Bones. And they sell odds and ends, postcards, clothing. A really neat spot.
It's cool because it's like you go in there. The old spot, you would be like playing on the floor, and above you would be like a zebra head.
Yeah.
Like a real life or a real zebra.
Yeah. And yeah, that sounds actually really fun. I want to go down to Oklahoma now, but when we think about things that, well, when I think about your Babies on a Half Pipe Happiness I Hold EP release show, on the same post, if I scroll next to it, I find a Weezer cover art. And is this you guys?
So my girlfriend paints, and so one day I went out of town and I came home and she surprised me with this Weezer board where she painted each one of us on there, and she used like Instagram as reference photos to paint the clothes that we actually own and wear and stuff like that. So everything on that board is pretty accurate to us. Yeah.
I heart hot moms.
I do.
Yeah,
Every bit of it.
mom shirt. Yeah.
So unfortunately, we are down to our final couple of questions here, guys. So just to start it off, for each of you, if you could have one final meal before you passed away, what would it be?
Oh, fuck, that's a hard one.
I can go first. I already know what mine would be. Mine would be like just like the fullest like American breakfast, like waffles, pancakes, eggs, bacon, like biscuits, like literally just like everything that American breakfast have. I would have that for my last meal.
Right on.
Shoot. Honestly, for me, just a nice grilled cheese.
Yo.
You can't go wrong. Hey man, you can't go wrong with a classic grilled cheese. I mean, it's super American.
Put some bacon on there. I was like, it's chocolate milk. I'm good. Chocolate milk. Dude, I'm simple.
I don't know. Either the Caniac combo with a large Coke Zero.
Oh man, that actually sounds really
Yeah,
good.
right?
Hey man, the Caniac combo. Okay.
Or some oatmeal.
Or some oatmeal.
That is the wildest take I've
some
ever
porridge.
heard.
Some grits with no seasoning.
Grits with
So
no
I
seasoning. Whoa.
I personally would probably do pizza. I'm a pretty picky eater, and that's the safest bet for me. I love frozen pizza, any thick, thin, deep dish. I have a pizza tattoo on my leg.
Well, I'm unsure if have you ever visited like the Midwest, like Iowa and Illinois and stuff?
So we're actually about to go on our first trip up there later next month. We have
Well,
a special announcement coming out.
When you guys come up here, for you specifically, if you ever visit a Casey's, you should try their breakfast pizza. It's like the best stuff in the world.
So we actually just had one open down here.
You had one open down there. Did you try the
Yeah,
Casey's
it's
breakfast?
very recently opened, so I'm gonna have to try it.
You have to try it.
Right?
It is.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on here, but my friends describe it as crack. So make sure you're prepared for that.
On my way.
So, if I'm not mistaken, there's come-and-go gas stations over in that area.
There are a few, yeah, especially in the bigger cities like Des Moines.
So, if you get a chance, you need to try their pizza before they change to Mavericks in a couple of months, because they have the absolute best pizza, in my opinion.
Are they renaming their brand?
They got bought out from another company
Oh wow.
that's expanding from the West, and they're switching out a lot of stuff currently. I know they've already changed some of the food items and stuff, and they're doing a hard launch in a few months.
Right on.
I would definitely check it out if you get a chance.
I'll
So
try.
cool.
I'll try. I will definitely try their pizza if you try Casey's pizza.
I'm on it.
So, moving on, we have one of our greatest questions here. For each of you, you guys played at so many different venues. Do you have a personal favorite venue?
Yeah, mine is the Vanguard. Mostly because it's just like the most like classic venue. Like like the whole layout is just like so stereotypical of a venue. Like there's like a really nice green room with a shower in it and stuff like that. It's just my favorite place to like be pampered and stuff like that. It really makes you feel like a musician whenever you're there.
Mine's like the complete opposite, because one time we played behind a bar because we weren't allowed in, and that wasn't a venue, but it sounded fantastic because it was just everything coming out of the amp.
It's like you got.
That was really awesome.
It's like you got tossed out and you decided to play behind the bar.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody came outside. It was awesome. Those 20 people loved it.
One of the bands let us use our amp, and we even like put vocals through one of their amps because we were just we were on tour, so we just really needed to make that show happen.
Right.
I don't know if this is my favorite venue, but the prettiest venue I've ever been to is here in Oklahoma called Resonant Head. And do you know the band Sports? Like the indie band?
I'm unfamiliar, but I will definitely look them up.
They're pretty big, but they're from here in Tulsa. And one of the main guys, his wife, did like the interior design. And it's like the craziest looking thing ever. Like the urinals in the bathroom are like pink and green. I feel like the bathroom is the biggest spectacle. It is. Yeah.
How do you know if you miss? If it's pink and green,
I guess you don't.
you just gotta aim and pray.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Great.
pink and green
It's very
bathroom.
primal.
It sounds cool.
I think my personal favorite is probably the Sanctuary because I really enjoy doing floor shows. So there's a place in Arkansas called George's Majestic Lounge, which is also it's a cool setup, and they have 2 venues in there. They have like a front room and then like the back room for bigger bands.
Yeah, really cool. Okay. And for our final 2 questions here, guys. For the first one, what is the future of Greyland? You guys are going to be heading up here, which I just found out from one of you, thankfully. And you guys are going to be playing at a few different shows in March. And I'm hoping we get to see a few more song releases. But what exactly are we going to be seeing?
So this March, we actually have over the last previous 2 years, we spent a lot of time writing songs, playing shows, and trying to build up as much like fan base as we could, energy and finance. And so we have a pretty aggressive attack strategy this year. In March, we have a split coming out with 2 other bands, Rolling Eyes from Oklahoma City and Intentions from El Paso, Texas. And that should be coming out near the end of March. And then we're going on a 5-day run through Wichita, Lincoln, still working on securing that Iowa show, but I think it's going to be at Purgatory. Okay. And then we're going to Kansas City and Springfield, Missouri.
That sounds awesome.
And then later in July, I know we're having another 5-day tour going out to the Southeast. We're going through Little Rock, Memphis, Birmingham, Atlanta. Still working on the rest from there. I think Nashville is going to be a show we're going to hit. I think the goal is to get out the split, 1 more EP, then next year buckle down and try to get an album out.
That's the plan. That sounds really nice. So I'm excited for that. Hopefully I could go ahead and go visit the Purgatory when you guys come down here. Come up here, actually. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
But if you guys ever come to Iowa again, I recommend checking out Gabe's. It's actually like over so many different bands and artists that I've had on here. Gabe seems to be the number 1 spot for them. So hopefully you guys like it if you ever check it out.
Yeah, I'd like to. I try to get it, but just didn't swing it this time. But that's a place I would personally like to hit it in the future.
Right. So for our final question on this interview, I'm so glad you guys have been here. So for our our final question, what could you tell the young and aspiring musicians who really need that motivation and inspiration to go on stage and do what they love?
The one message is that anyone can do this. Anyone can pick up an instrument and be a part of the music scene, be a part of any art scene. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want people to think that, like, they're not creative enough or, like, it's just not the right place for them. Like especially in Tulsa, we're wanting everybody and anybody to pick up, you know, some sort of art and get involved in the community. And so we just don't want any gatekeeping or anything. We want everyone here. We want everyone involved. Like, it's all love and peace. You know what I mean? Or that's what we want, at least. So, yeah.
I want to add on to that I think, especially within the art community, varies per area, but I think it's definitely one of the most inclusive, safe places that you can go to find friends, and just build really good connections and networking options that aren't usually available to people who aren't necessarily like super into academics or certain other aspects. But I think there's a lot more than just like music or painting. There's room for everyone, even if you're more of like someone that likes to set up shows, if you like running sound, like it's a good scene for everyone, and everyone mutually can help each other and make good friends.
And on the playing side, it's always good to keep a consistent practice schedule, like for yourself, so you can like get to playing to the point where you can really like confidently play these shows and people like them and stuff. Because I try to practice a little bit every day, multiple times a week, and you know, gotten to where I'm at in this band. I'm really happy that I did.
Yeah, for sure, guys. And thank you guys so much for being on my show today. This was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, man. This was an opportunity.
You're really good.
Yeah, you're good.
I mean, doing this for about 5 months now, I hope I'm getting a little bit better.
Hell yeah.
That
But,
was pretty awesome, and I enjoyed the narwhal bit.
Yeah, man. I try to freak out my my guests sometimes. So
We got freaked out. We were scared.
Yeah, that's such a good tactic. You did really good.
so
Thank you.
thank you for being here. First of all, it's been I believe like a week and a few days since I've done my last interview. So this will be very exciting to see how people see it. But before you leave, where can we find you on social media, and where can we find your music?
So we have music available on Bandcamp, Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, SoundCloud, all of your normal stuff. And then we have our social media split up between two different things. So you can find us on most things as Greyland Official, spelled with a E in the gray. And then on other stuff, it'll be Greyland Band. And you can find us Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Threads, everywhere. And then TikTok and stuff.
And a few of those will be listed in the description, so all you people listening in better go check them out. Just saying. But again, guys, thank you so much for being here today. We will hopefully get you guys on here once more in the future. But thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having
Thanks
us.
so much, man.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. And that will end today's episode of Music with Mason. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you check this out again and again and again, and share this with your friends and family and all of your loved ones out there so they can go ahead and check this out as well. If you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing so you are notified of when I upload my interviews, and while I have more content on the way, you'll be able to see it. Thank you guys again. If you really enjoyed Greyland and the interview I had with them, please check out their stuff in the description below. And as always, we will see you guys next time.